Hey Rahma, how you doing? So, welcome to the world according to the Nasman. Give me a sound check, people. Today we're gonna start with some laughter yoga. Hi, after a sound check, and then we do a live Q&A about any of your questions about mental health, the treatment thereof, and hypnotherapy. What is directly um, important to me. Oh, look at that. الناس ما شفته من زمان. نايل هلا مرحبا كيف حالك. So sound check guys, wave back to all who have waved. And can you hear me? Hey Rami, how you doing? So I guess I will get right to it. We've got 4 people online. And for those 4 people, won't you just laugh with me for a moment? Very good, very good. Yay. Okay, so let's start with Manal. Manal, you're a fresh clinical psychologist graduate, and what to do. So it really depends what area of the world you're in. I assume you're looking for places to work. What you do is you gain your experience and you start doing the clinical work. Um, if you can tell me where you are, if you're still here, I can probably help you a bit more. But also, I'd like to, after this, stick to mental health, mental illness, and the treatment thereof. Hey, Noor, guys, if you laugh along with me, just leave a little comment, put that little laughter there. Laughter yoga is one of the things that I do. I'm a hypnotherapist by choice, psychologist by trade, psychotherapist by trade, and we're taking questions and answers about mental health and hypnotherapy. So Manal, based on the generality of your question, what to do, the answer is get a job or start working directly with your clients, and that depends on whether you have a license or not. You can still work with people either way. From Saudi, I have the license, and you would have to build a client base, which means probably use your Instagram, use your WhatsApp, use the people you know, let them know that you're a clinical psychologist. Find a place to work from. If you're going to start from home, that's fine. If you're going to start with telephone consultations, that's fine. If you're going to do online consultations, that's fine. If you're going to find an office and work at the office and create a 9 to 5 for yourself, a regular job, that is actually the best option theoretically. but you would start by selling yourself as a clinical psychologist. So that means finding your target group, the people you want to work with, the cases that you think you'll work best with, and work from there. In our work, it's all word of mouth. Once you've helped the one person, they'll bring you others and others. I hope that was good as an answer. So to all you guys who are joining, we're going to be doing bouts of laughter yoga throughout this thing. I'm not planning to be here for more than an hour. So the idea is questions and answers about mental health, hypnotherapy, treatment, etc. And if I'm left hanging for too long, I will just randomly go into laughter yoga. Harabud, happy birthday, bro. Sorry I missed out. Okay, Manal, so I'm going to suggest perhaps get in contact with me privately and we can talk about what your thinking process is. So I'm a clinical psychologist. I work in Abu Dhabi at Sheikh Khalifa Medical City. That's my day job. In the afternoons and on weekends and in my free time, I also consult privately with people as a hypnotherapist, as a life coach, as a laughter yoga practitioner, as a Reiki practitioner, and I own an establishment known as Changeworks Abu Dhabi. I co-own it with a partner, Casey Conrad, who's also a hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, a neuromuscular therapist in her past, not anymore. But what we do is we do workshops about NLP, life coaching, Reiki. We used to run cancer groups as well as cancer support groups. And we provide a platform for people to learn these skills in order to use them with others. And that really is the goal. Otherwise, there's also consultations with at least 5 other hypnotherapists, 7 I believe, and we also have a yoga element and a qigong element. So we try to put together mind, body, and consultation. Okay. So looks like we have 2 people online. So for those 2 who are following along, won't you laugh with me for a moment? Right. Very good. Very good. Yay. Whew. Okay. All right. For those of you who are joining, what we did is a short bout of laughter yoga. I do it because it stems from the belief that laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine because it's simple, it's replicable, it's infectious. If you notice, I just go into spontaneous laughter, I look into the camera, and I have a lot of trust that most of you who don't log out immediately from the crazy man would laugh along. And I do appreciate all you guys who put your laughter emojis. The point for today is mental health. Any Q&As about mental health, well, any Q's I should be providing the A's. Mental health issues, what it means, what it is, where it comes from, and how to treat it, and specifically hypnotherapy, which is very dear to my heart, and of course laughter yoga because I'm doing it. The point of doing laughter yoga, as I said, laughter is the best medicine. There's many actual physiological reasons for that. When you laugh, you stimulate your stomach muscles. Oh, there we go. Does meditation help with depression? The answer is a soft yes. Okay, so meditation is a way of getting to know yourself, of exploring your mental state, and training yourself to quiet your mind down. Now, that's not always necessary in all schools of meditation. When you meditate, the more classic way of using the word meditate, I'm not sure if it's classic or just more profound these days, is when you meditate on an issue, you sort of think about it, you put your focus on it, and that would likely give you the causes, the reasons, the triggers to your depression, to your sad feelings, to the behaviors that you're going through, and possibly even begin to open your imagination to the solutions to those. And the idea is that when you're in a place of tension, when you're in a place of trouble, depression, anxiety, family issues, addictions, whatever they are, you don't tend to think of them in any way that brings you out of them. Now, there's a small subset of the population who are very task and focus driven and have that mental integrity that in the time of need they would pull themselves out. And perhaps one of the ways they do it is meditative, as in they go back, they check what is going on, and what do I have control over, what don't I have control over, and how can it help bring me out. So meditation would help with depression. It's definitely a life skill to gain in general, because it involves the focus, which is far more important than quieting your mind, by the way, because the practice of meditation teaches you to be okay with an unquiet mind, and the mind was never designed to be quiet, by the way. But if you do learn how to do that, that is definitely useful, and I believe it's even more useful in anxiety cases. And here I'd like to draw a bit of a parallel between anxiety and depression, because a lot of people's depressions start, in my opinion, a lot of people's depressions start with a long period of unresolved anxiety. And once your system has been overloaded like that for a long time, you're very likely to fall into a depressed state, and a depressed state in this case would represent the physiological shutting down of your mind, because you haven't the way to bring yourself out of that anxiety. So the response to that, the subconscious response or the automatic response, would be repression or depression, which is a full numbing of the whole system, because you lack the skill set or the ability, or maybe you just haven't done it yet, to deal with the anxiety appropriately. Right? And yes, Manal, for most countries you would actually, so the international standards is PhD, but you can start your clinical work at a master's level, and in most places you will need a master's level to do your clinical work. So T name X, I feel like I know who you are, but I'm not sure, so I'll just stick to the screen name there. Does that answer your question about meditation? Did you have any specific comments about meditation, perhaps? Because not everybody's a meditator. It's definitely a skill set. Excuse me. and it's definitely one that you learn to build up. But so personally, I'm not a meditator. I know its uses. I have tried. I have done it as an intervention for myself. The purpose was personal development. But also, if you ask me, do you want to meditate? My answer is no. I do not want to meditate. So I do have an understanding of CBT therapy. I have done versions of CBT. My battery is running low, so 20%. I'm gonna have to cut this short. And my answer to that is I do CBT because you can't really not do it. As a technique, it's important to sometimes get things on paper, and that's what I think is most important about CBT. However, I'm not a believer in CBT. It's not my preferred method of working as a psychotherapist. I find it boring and a preschool level. It's too much hand holding, more than I can handle, really. And specifically because it's a written form. I just, I don't, let me put it this way. I know CBT, I've done CBT, it's useful for some people, but I wouldn't sell it as a first intervention. All right, you're welcome. I'm glad that was okay. I have 5 people who have joined. Until I get another question, to the 5 of you, won't you laugh with me just a bit Very good, very good. Yay. Thank you to my friends who are extremely supportive in everything I do. So, laughter yoga. Laughter is the best medicine. It moves your stomach muscles, and that's just exercise. And we know that exercise is related to the release of endorphins. So your recovery phase would be related to release of endorphins, and endorphins are your feel-good hormones in general. They also have an improved healthcare effect. When you do deep abdominal breathing, and laughter should really come from the abdomen, you also move your diaphragm, and your diaphragm is the seat of your energy body. That's the energy way of talking about it. And another way to describe it is that it's directly connected to your brain through the parasympathetic nervous, or to the parasympathetic part of your brain. So parasympathetic means relaxation initiating, the rest and recovery mode. So when your parasympathetic nerve is stimulated, your immune response increases or strengthens, and it's so there's an axis between the diaphragm and the brain. And repeated laughter, repeated sustained laughter over a period of days and weeks and months, using laughter yoga, perhaps, wink wink, would gain health benefits. So there are some clinical studies that have shown a decrease in cortisol levels, so decrease in stress levels, and other physiological indicators. They also used mood scales like the PANAS and others to show sustained improvements in mood and thinking. So, as for a yoga guru, first learn yoga. And we do have yoga classes coming up at Changeworks in Abu Dhabi on Hamdan Street. So perhaps go to www.changeworksad.com to get into your first class. Now, we don't do yoga certification to my knowledge, but it is pretty simple, and it's around everywhere. You can get certified as a yoga instructor. I would suggest you do laughter yoga, and for that go to laughteryogauniversity.com, and if you just search laughter yoga, you'll find that there's a course in Bangalore. It starts in February. That's the one I'm going to, and that's to be a laughter yoga teacher. And laughter yoga isn't actually yoga, but it is this technique that you will see me repeat over and over, every Sunday, inshallah. And I wish you luck. I wish you luck. It's a good path you're going on. And contact me. I might have more information for you later. So I'm a little worried about the battery and its consistency here. I got the 20% before. Today is a Q&A about mental health issues. If you have any, please ask me. Please leave messages if you want them to be answered on the next Sunday. So every Sunday, inshallah, live at 5. I will be coming up. We'll be doing a bit of laughter yoga. That's my practice, and I'll be answering Q&As about mental health issues and hypnotherapy, which is my field of work. Alright, so back to laughter yoga. We have 3 people watching, so if you're watching, won't you laugh with me for a minute? Very good, very good, yay. The idea is that laughter is the best medicine. It's infectious. You don't actually have to have a reason to laugh, and it will have healthcare benefits for you, sustained, repeated laughter. And just think of children and how children are laughing all the time, and perhaps you don't want to make that connection. You can actually go back and look at the science behind laughter yoga. It's quite impressive. For all of you who are concerned. And the idea with laughter is fake it till you make it. If you just laugh, laughter will bring itself. You don't necessarily need any jokes. You don't need a reason to laugh, except for that laughter is the best medicine. If you are laughing with us, please do put your smiley faces. Barakallah alaikum, welcome. Say hi to them, I guess. Hanan, hello. If you have any questions about mental health, we are running against the battery life here. I didn't get a 10% message, but the idea is Q&A about mental health, treatment, hypnotherapy. I am a hypnotherapist, after all. I can take some questions and answer them the next Sunday, inshallah. I plan that every Sunday at 5 I'll go live to do some more hypnotherapy, some more questions and stuff, and hypnotherapy, and laughter yoga, sorry. As for the 7 people who are watching, Why won't you laugh with me for a moment? Okay, all right, all right. Very good, very good. Yay. So, if you're feeling a bit energized by this as I am now, just take a nice deep breath and hum it out. Maybe 3 deep breaths and just to hum for longer so it sounds like this. All right. So at what stage of anxiety treatment would you recommend applying laughter yoga? Um, I wouldn't consider it a treatment specifically. I would consider it a life skill that you can learn, and laughter yoga can teach you to be more accepting of yourself, more accepting of the silliness, specifically. It will give you the skill set of relaxation, so it may directly affect your anxiety, and then that answer would be from the very beginning. So it's a social intervention. It's different from a clinical intervention. Laughter yoga is usually done in groups, and it really depends on, what kind of anxiety you have, how far you will go with laughter yoga. I mean, people who don't have problems find this the weirdest thing. Hi, Rod. Um, and it is a level of self-comfort. So I have been told here, cafe people might think you're cray cray, and they do. My clients think I'm cray cray because I tell them. I had to go through a lot of personal evolution to be able to be comfortable just being crazy. And it's a low battery, 10% remaining. So in the interest of the rest of my battery, this was meant to be a Q&A about mental health and hypnotherapy, and we've had a couple of good questions. What I'm going to suggest is, because I have to cut this short, my battery is running out. Please leave me messages with your questions, something I can talk about next Sunday, because I will be doing the Sunday live at 5. So the idea is I'll be talking about my streams of consciousness. I will be very appreciative of specific questions that help me focus in, right? And I will be practicing laughter yoga over and over again as a public service. So for the 3 of you that are with me here, we'll laugh one more time. Please laugh along. All right, very good, very good. Yay, thanks, Yusuf. If you've laughed along, leave me some laughter emojis. I will be doing this again and again and again. Please leave any questions you have in the world of mental health and hypnotherapy and the treatment thereof. Please note I do run a clinic, and am available for private consultations if you should so like. Contact me and we can set things up. All right, so thanks for listening, and see you next week. And just remember, every day and in every way, it gets better and better.